everyone, welcome to Saturday Crafternoons at Assemble. I'm your host Samir. We're located in the lovely Garfield neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Crafternoons are an opportunity for us to share some of the wonderful local guest experts in our neighborhood. This week's guest expert is a fellow assembler, Jacinta.
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you. I feel like we always see
in
each other.
person, right? Right.
We have a couple questions for you. I have a couple questions for you, at least. I'm sure our friends also have some questions too. But
Sure.
Is it okay if I ask them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So our first question is, if you had a boat, what would you name it?
I would name it the SS Sherry Lee after my mom.
Oh, that's so sweet. Did your mom always want a boat, or did you have a boat?
No. Oh, yeah, I wish, right? No. I just think that my mom had an affinity for the ocean as I do, so I thought that would be a sweet thing to do. It's named after her.
When's the last time you went to the ocean?
Oh, it's been some years. It's probably been about 8-9 years. But we went to Coney Island, and then we went to Wildwood, New Jersey, and stayed for a week.
Oh, wow. I went to Wildwood so long ago.
Right.
I can't even remember.
Right.
Yeah, we're pretty far from oceans here in Pittsburgh. But we do have 3 rivers. I don't know if it's the best to swim in the rivers.
I wouldn't swim in it, no. Boating, okay. Swimming,
So I did have another question. What's the worst smelling place you've ever been to?
It was actually a landfill.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I went on a trip when I was in school. We went to a landfill. We were studying environmental sciences, and it was probably the foulest thing that I had encountered in my life. So yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was a field trip?
Yeah, that was a field trip.
Oh my gosh! But did you learn a lot on the field?
Oh
trip,
yeah,
or was
we
it just too
learned.
smelly?
I mean, it was. We learned. I mean, luckily we went through the whole plant, and we talked about recycling, and then we went to go see a landfill, and it was just that was luckily the shorter part of the field trip. So we had fresh air for most of the time. So
That's good.
Right.
I feel like I would have to going to landfill. I would have to bring a mask with lavender or something.
Right, something. Yeah, it was pretty pungent.
Balance it out. All right. Well, thank you for talking with me.
Yeah.
Let's go check out Jacinta's workshop and see what she has in store for us today.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jacinta. I am the Off-Site Programs Manager here at Assemble. I'm really excited to be with you guys today for Crafternoons. So we have an interesting subject this month that we're working on, and that is self-care and self-love. So you might be asking, what exactly does that even mean? So what is self-care? Well, let me give you the definition of it. Okay? Self-care is the most important way that you can boost and maintain both your emotional and your physical health. Many people today neglect it due to the lack of time, and this negativity can really impact the lives of those who don't take the time to put themselves first. A way to practice self-care is giving yourself grace. So you're probably asking me, what does that mean? So again, let's talk about what grace means. Grace is the strength that we are all given to overcome anything that stops us from living a full life. Grace is so important to work on a daily basis because not only does it help yourself be a better version of you, but it really shows others what an amazing person you really are. And when you show grace to yourself and to others, it's just natural for them to repay that and show you the same. So now that we kind of know what those words are, what does it mean to you? So what is self-care to you? What do you do in your daily life, whether it's playing with your favorite toys, whether it's coloring your favorite book, maybe it's watching your favorite cartoon that just kind of takes you back into that space where you feel happy and safe. Okay? What do you do? Well, what we're going to do today is create what we call a Face of Grace mask. And that way, we can think about all those great things that we use to make ourselves feel happy and safe again into a physical piece of art. So here's mine. I started this one already. This is my Face of Grace. Now, you don't have to do yours just like this one. This was just my example. What you can do is gather items that make you happy, that bring you joy, things that remind you of the fun things that you did in life. You can use that to create something like this. You can use markers, you can paint and use brushes, and paints like I have here. We can add LED lights with really, really cool coin batteries, like that. You can add whatever you want. Motors and feathers and lots of beads, if that's what you want to do. Whatever makes you feel happy. It could be some pictures of your favorite sports teams. It could be a picture of your pet. But whatever it is that makes you happy, that's what we're going to use to go ahead and create our mask today. But here are a few other ideas, just in case you weren't sure. So our great friends at Pathways to Success have 4 steps that they use in order to practice self-care. The first one is teach positive self-talk. Let yourself know, I'm enough just the way I am. So if there are things that you feel challenged or pressured about, that's okay. That's natural. That happens to us all. But give yourselves that positive pep talk. Talk yourself into knowing that you are enough and that you can overcome this. Another way is model and teach gratitude. You can come up with flashcards, things to remind yourself, I can get through anything. This too shall pass. That's okay because I'm a great person. Different ways that you can give yourself those motivational speeches if you can't really think of them on your own. Another is encourage a growth mindset. You can create a slip paper and put all types of great affirmations, positive phrases, things you like. Maybe it's just something where you tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to spend an extra 15 minutes playing with my favorite pet today. I'm going to spend an extra 5 minutes coloring in that favorite book. But those are things that you can do to make yourself feel better, to make yourself feel happy, and get back to that self-care place. And then lastly, promote kindness. A lot of times when we help others, it makes us feel good about ourselves. So if you can take the time to think of what you can do for someone else, maybe it's helping mom or dad with the groceries, with the dishes, doing some extra chores around the house. Maybe it's just spending some time reading your favorite book with a friend. But those are all things that we can do in order to make ourselves feel better and practice that self-care that we all need to be the best versions of ourselves. All right, so let's get into it. We're about to make a project. So in your kits, you should have a paper mask. You should have some paints or brushes, some markers you probably have around your house, or you can also use crayons, or if you really prefer to use a pencil, you can use pencils. You should have some LED lights, and I have a few different colors here. Some coin batteries so we can make sure that they light up. Or you can add some bottle caps, some straws, and again, that trusty bin of beads. You'll need a pair of scissors and some glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm using a hot glue gun, but make sure that you have mom or dad or another adult help you if you're going to use a hot glue gun because we don't want you to hurt yourself. Again, that's not practicing self-care, is it? So, you can also use Elmer's glue if that's a little better. You can also use masking tape, or you can use decorative duct tape, whatever you may have. You can add cardboard, like I did. I created a little hat for my mask. So, and that was just using cardboard that I had collected around the house. You can also use toilet paper rolls. Whatever it is that makes you feel happy, that's what we're going to put on this mask. So, let's get started. Alright, so since I already started my mask here, I'm going to share a little bit about what you see on here. So, one, I love being able to do art with hair. That makes me really happy. It actually also is a connection to my culture. So being able to use that as part of my grace mask, because again, we're giving ourselves grace, I really wanted to incorporate that. I also really love flowers. And so I wanted to make sure that I had flowers represented somewhere on my grace mask. Here I have a simple white flower with lots of vines that I went ahead and painted on. I also have some feathers because I just think feathers are fun. And some beads because why not? And I love the little glittery star. Those are all things that just make me happy. I love the fact that the face has some real outrageous makeup on there. because I like to dibble and dabble in special effects makeup too. So those are all things that really make me happy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the little hat I constructed. I also really love working for Assemble, so therefore there is the Assemble button represented right there. Being part of the Assemble team really does bring me joy, and it brings me grace because I feel that I'm helping others. So that's why it's represented on my grace face. So what I'm going to do now is actually attach my hat to my face. Now this is not going to be the easiest task. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but that's alright. We're going to work this one out. The other thing that I added I thought was a really cool element was some of the things that I enjoy to do. So on here I have represented art and music. And it has a cute little twist. So I have attached to this a motor with a battery pack. And so I'm going to show you what will happen when I push the on button. Check that out. So I'm going to now connect all of these pieces together on my Grace face. Now depending on what you're adding, again you could be painting, you can use markers, you can use crayons. Again, you have LED lights, which I might add a few on there too as well. But however, whatever you're feeling. I also know there are animal prints also in your kit. So if there are certain animals that you would think are really cool, whether it's a leopard or a tiger, or maybe it's a turtle shell, whatever you like, you can cut those things out and put that on your Grace face too. Sorry, let's see how we can get this on here. So the first thing I need to do is attach the hat. So how are we going to do that? So if you look inside, I do have some foam, so it can help support the motor when I put this on my hat. So with the hot glue gun, and again, make sure if you're using hot glue that you have an adult who can help you. Don't try this by yourself. And I want my hat to kind of be off to the side a bit, because that's kind of cool. I like it that way. So I'm going to put some glue around the edge here of the hat. But I just added another stick in there just in case. I'll need some more glue. I'm going to put an ample amount just because this hat is a little heavy. Now I'm going to make sure I have it in the right position, and now I'm going to press it down to my mask. I'm just going to hold it for a second so that it gets a chance to really adhere to everything. Alright, now that I got my hat secure, I needed to give it a little bit of time so that the hot glue could go ahead and set in. So now that that's done, I can go ahead and try to assemble the top spinning part of my hat. Again, has my favorites, art and music, so that it won't be blocking the spin motion of my motor. So again, the goal is to have it spin like so while it's attached to the hat, which I thought was a pretty cool little thing to add in there. So what I need to do to make sure I secure it is I started putting here, I have two long toothpicks. I'm going to put a third so that I can go ahead and make sure that it's supported underneath the hat. That way it'll be able to hold itself up. So we're just going to glue some more on. So I'm going to get a good bit of glue on here. Just want to make sure this is nice and secure. Alright. Again, I just put a little more glue just to make sure it was extra secure. Again, this is a little top heavy just because I have the whole molder up there. Then I have this spinning top and the hat. So there's a lot of weight that is going to need to be supported. So I'm going to make sure I have a good ample amount of glue on there and give it a chance to really set so that I know that it is all ready to go. Alright, well there you have it. Here's my face of grace that I completed. Again, you can have this reflect any and everything that you love and that brings you joy. And just remember, it is so important to practice self-care every day, even if it's 5 minutes doing our favorite activity, or it's 5 minutes reading that favorite book. Self-care is important. Give yourself grace. Thanks, and maybe I'll see you again next time.
Thanks so much for joining us this week for Saturday Crafternoon. We would love to see what you've created. To do so, please share by posting on our Facebook page, tagging us on Instagram at AssemblePGH, or email me at my email, leah@assemblepgh.org. And if you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.